something political about Florida. Did you hear about that in Florida?
Oh my goodness.
That they
Shout out to Florida because look, they're cleaning up the homeless situation. Listen, if you have family you haven't heard of, seen from in a really long time, make sure they're not out on the streets. Florida said they're putting a stop to allowing the homeless sleeping in public places like the parks, under the bridge. I don't know if you've been to Houston. I don't know if you've been to San Antonio, Wiley. It's not really too bad in the Dallas area. My mom lives in a really nice residential neighborhood. Homelessness is not a thing when you pay the cost to be the boss. But baby, when it is.
But I would say this: I agree with the governor of Florida on this issue. It needs to be banned on all public spaces.
Yes, but
And
what are they gonna do with the bodies, Wiley?
I
That's
believe
the scary part.
right, the scary part, and it's the unknown part. But this is the right thing they should do: fund them to be in one of those container apartments that they have now. How I don't know if you saw how they remodeled those containers,
Yeah,
made
them,
into
them tiny homes.
them tiny homes. I believe Georgia is doing that. In Atlanta, there's so many ways to tackle this issue, but allowing them to be on a public street is disgusting. It's not clean. It's unhealthy. It brings down the property value. It's just not right for this country to be worth so many billions, and you have homeless people everywhere. I believe that not only you should ban it, but also invest in that. Shout out to the mayor in LA. They are putting people in hotels and motels, and because she said we just can't wait till they build it, get them out the street now. Once it's built, then we phase them out and put them in apartments or put them in homes, etc.
Listen, my black nail tech, shout out to her. Down in Houston, amazing black owned everything. Shout out to the women. So she was telling me she's from LA and she said the homelessness is really bad. Like people relieve themselves in the middle of the street. Can you imagine raising a child out there? This is why they talk about the South, but we don't see stuff like that. Like to that extent of just laying out, relieving themselves out in the middle of the public walkway. I mean, this is what stopped Keith Lee for doing a lot of reviews. It's really unfortunate. I just pray for the people because if we allow the government to get too involved, what are they going to do with these homeless bodies? Are they going to use them as experiments? I always go to the what ifs because we know the land of the free ain't always free.
And I also want to add, being a person that have seen a lot of homelessness in California, particularly LA, the issue is it is run by Democrats. The governor of California have failed homeless people in California.
Ooh.
The mayor of LA before this one have failed homeless people. Black creators like all the creators that's in California have failed the homeless people because they don't talk about it. There is one particular creator that lived in California. He had to leave his apartment complex because the homeless person stole his Uber Eats. They just stole it from the lobby. And these people are paying $5,000-$10,000 to stay in a luxury apartment. But when you go outside, you don't see luxury. You see people using the bathroom on the concrete, begging, wearing bonnets, and they also doing substances in their veins. And it's also mentally ill people living on the street. And these people are doing it right in LA, all in these good areas, these quote unquote luxury areas, and then have a huge epidemic, and I believe a pandemic of homeless people.
Oof. It's unfortunate and it's sad, honestly and truly. And hopefully Florida can get it together because let's be honest, it brings the property value down, it brings down the tourism, and it makes people feel uneasy because not every homeless person is some sad, soft, homeless guy y'all see on YouTube. These people can be Me Tooers, they can be unalivers, they could be domestic teas. You just never know.
You really, really just never know. And I don't want to smell the urine. I don't want to smell the boo-boo. I don't want to see the boo-boo. I already have to dodge dog boo-boo, but human boo-boo? No, not in America. That shouldn't be. And these politicians like Governor Newsom, and I have to call you out because you want to run for president one day. If you cannot get the homeless population down into homes, affordable housing, you should not be trying to become the president of the United States. You have a homeless problem in California. And why would you try to give health care to illegal immigrants? Why? What about the Californians or people that have been there in California all their life? They need free health care, and also in California, they need affordable housing because you do have a population of working class that's working every day but can't afford the rent because the rent is too high in California. Can you imagine how much it costs to rent a one-bedroom in a nice area? Maybe about $2,500 or more for a beautiful, not even a beautiful, a shoebox in a decent area in California, about $2,500 to $3,000. And guess what? You got to make 3 times the rent. Anybody make almost over $10,000 to rent out a shoebox? It ain't so many people in California that can do that.
That's what they choose to do. And honestly and truly, I've been saying this since the beginning of time. California is dead. Okay? You no longer have to go there to be somebody. You can be somebody from the privacy of your own home. You can make it anywhere, and you can fly in to do the jobs. I just think people bought into the Kool-Aid because, quite frankly, LA is dirty. A lot of California is dirty.
Yeah. And Keith Lee, I'm glad he pulled out because he exposed an issue. Let's be clear. In some parts of California, I can't think of the area right now, baby, food, like restaurants, restaurants pulled out because they said, not because we're not making money, because the crime and all the homeless people. We just cannot stay in business because it's putting our customers at risk. So we're just going to shut down the business. What do you think that's going to do to those areas that's already suffering? That's going to bring it more people get into homeless because those people had jobs. Where they going to go? And they can't afford their rent. You miss one rental payment, they're going to be at the eviction office trying to get you out of their property. So it is all sad. Don, is it quiet in your background? Also, we're going to bring Don to get his 2 cents on the homeless issue and him being a person that does real estate in his background. What can we do? You agree with Florida banning homeless people on public land? Oh, he playing music in the back. Don playing music. So we'll wait till the music stops. Once you give me a thumbs up, we'll bring you on because we need all our coin. Okay. It's still playing. It's still there. Bring the homeless people down. But I also would like to add this. I believe they should be off the street immediately into homes. We have so many hotels that's empty. Why not put them there? Look at what went on in Chicago. Chicago allowed these people that came from Mexico or from any parts of the world, they put them in hotels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Building shelters. Why can't we do that for homeless people in America? We literally building shelters to house people that came to this country illegally, and we're giving them healthcare, doctors, nurses, etc., food, etc., paid by the taxpayers. If we could do that for illegal people, then we should do it for American citizens that having food insecurities, that having housing insecurity, that having medical insecurity. They should be able to get it too if we're giving it for people from Mexico that came across our border illegally. If we are giving it to them, if we can't afford it, then we need to deport them back to their native land and give that to the Pookie and Ray Ray that is suffering right now to get affordable housing. Don, do you want to give your point here?
This is really hard for me. Only because are they banning them for all public property in that state?
Yeah, public land, like in the place where they want to ban it. Any homeless people on public land.
So Are you familiar with the homeless community in Dallas?
I am familiar with it. When I leave my beautiful area that I stay in, I go close to South Dallas. I see a lot of homeless people in the street walking around. And I believe in Dallas, they said, don't give the people no money because we do have social services. And when I was taking the dark train, that it was illegal for them to be sleeping on the train or begging on the train, or they can get a fine or something.
Yeah, so in Dallas, you under all of our bridges, you have tent cities, right? And so if they're not allowed on public land, um, where you gonna drive them? Like where are you gonna drive this large amount of this homeless community? Like where are they getting driven? Now think about that. Where are they getting driven? They're not getting driven to our neighborhoods. I'm sorry. They're not getting driven to those neighborhoods. They're getting driven to our neighborhoods. And I mean, I've been in Texas my whole life. Since COVID, we've had what 3.2 million people from all over come through. You don't know who done came through. Everybody's not Texan. Like naturally, we're naturally friendly, respectful people, right? And so you're seeing most of the people who are like originally from the areas with this influx of people coming in, you don't know who these people are. And that's the thing, like the homeless has shot up tenfold in my area. I mean, at every light, damn near.
Mm.
So all I'm saying is if they're not allowed on public grounds, which I mean the cities you want to clean up. They want to clean up these cities. Look how much money is being invested into the big cities. All the new infrastructure and buildings that's coming up. How can they make money with homeless people everywhere sleeping and standing and panhandling? Think about it. At the end of the day, it's about the money. So if it's about the money, where are you driving these people? Because you're not driving them to the affluent neighborhoods.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why it's something that need to happen. Again, one solution for Texas in particular, we have a lot of land in Texas. Open land with nothing on it. Build some on it, build properties on it. Say, hey, all these massive complex, do it affordable housing by income. That in order to stay in this property, we're going to give you 120 days to get a job. We're going to train you, get a job, and you must it's going to go by your income. For those who have mental problems, in order to stay in this apartment, in order to comply, you must go to your psych doctor. We're going to pay it from the government. Go to the psych doctor, make sure you have your treatment, and you check in. I believe we need to have those programs immediately to this day. And that's why I urge the governor of Texas. I urge my state representative, and we're going to really talk to them about that because you need to have it. Because if you don't, this will turn into California. If you don't, this will be Skid Row everywhere you go. Some areas, they are already tough, like in Frisco. They're not going to let it happen. They're going to arrest you, get you out of there. It's just some areas is not going to allow it to happen. But in Dallas, they need to have these programs. I understand Republicans, conservative, quote unquote conservatives don't like to give hand-me-outs, but if you don't, they're going to be living on your block because it's going to be so bad. They're going to be in areas that used to didn't have it. They're just going to be sleeping there. Because look at California, they just everywhere. It was one area, I believe, they just out on a residential street, just on the corner, just picking up a tent. They said they can't remove it. They said when we remove it, they come right back because they have nowhere to go.
So at the end of the day, like I'm telling you, like this is deeper than what you guys think. Like for example, Wiley, like this is a political thing. This is a political thing that's happening right in front of our face. So, but I don't think that's why I don't think I don't think we'll have to worry about it so much in Texas. I don't think we'll get to that extreme. Because Texas is just a little bit different than every other state in the United States.
Absolutely. And
So,
according to the data, Texas have been doing great with
because
homeless people in some parts of Texas.
They have the laws in place. And coming from the DMV, I lived out there, y'all, for 3 years. And in the 3 years in the major metropolitan, right by Capitol Hill, baby, it's homelessness. And it's like an everyday thing, like getting rid of them, getting them out. That's why I say check on your loved ones, because you never know who is out there doing what. Some of them are mentally unsound, but some of them are predators. So we can't just have them frolicking through the streets, terrorizing the people. It stops the money. It makes people not want to go certain places. I know me as a woman, I don't want to be anywhere where someone is panhandling, laying outside, using the outside public places as their personal bathroom. It's just disgusting.
It's very
I agree.
It's very disgusting, and that's why we must have those solutions. And there is states that have the issue. They're working on it, and it's great. Every place in America, they're not dealing with high rates like California. California is just out of control, and it's run by Democrats. Maybe they need to have a balance of power because the leaders that are there have failed California. California is just out of. I couldn't believe it that it's so bad that businesses are leaving because those homeless people, they start fires and it spread to the building, and now the building owner cannot get no more insurance. He have all them he was making all them claims. He said, I can't get insurance to run my business, so I'm gone. They will have these fires because they get cold and burn up the people building. That's how bad it's gotten in California. It's so bad. It is so rough. And then you have people rushing to go to California, but clearly you never see them going, pan that camera to that street. You ain't gonna see that. They're gonna see it with bonnets. They're gonna want to buy a loose cigarette. They're gonna want about these homeless people to upgrade. They need $300. Ain't no $3 no more, baby. It's California. Give me $300. You got it. You got veneers because they know people that got veneers. They think you got money because they know veneers ain't free. So they gonna beg you for some good old money. But
listen, since